Right, it's Virgin Radio Pride. This is special. Hello, Pixie Lott.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
I'm really good. First thing I need to say, and we're going back about maybe 5 years ago, 4 years ago, saw you at Manchester Pride.
It was amazing.
You look like you were having so much fun. Do you remember doing that?
Yes, I do. I remember it very vividly. And yeah, I loved it. All my friends came and I performed, and then we all lived it up and partied afterwards.
Did you? Manchester Pride is the one, isn't it?
Yeah, Manchester's great. Brighton's also really good too.
Have you been? You've been to that Pride?
Yes.
Okay.
And it just happened at the weekend, didn't it?
Yeah.
Or just weekend just gone?
The last Saturday.
Last Saturday,
Sunday.
yeah. And I couldn't make that one. But yeah, when I've been before, it's amazing. But Manchester Pride's fantastic.
It's good,
yeah,
isn't it? And
so
I
good.
remember the cheer that you got. You're so big. You're like one of our allies. You're so huge within the LGBTQ plus community.
Oh, thank you. That's an honour.
Yeah, I mean, so what is it? Why do the gays love you? Why do I love you? Tell me, Pixie Lott.
I don't know. I've got no idea, but I've always, like, ever since I started when I was probably 18, have loved playing the Pride festivals and Pride shows. Really important to me and all of my friends, and just the most fun.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just the most fun. So yeah, it's always been really important to me. So that's lovely that you say that.
It's almost like all the attitude is just left at the door. People come along to the Pride to have fun.
Oh, everyone just, no attitude. Like you said, everyone is there having the time of their lives, jumping around, dancing, bringing the best energy. And imagine that to a massive crowd, like timesing it by how many people are there. It just is like magical. So yeah, they will always be my favourite shows to play.
Will you do any more Prides? I mean, obviously we're going towards the end of the season now, but is that something you still love doing? You know, because obviously you've got the new album. Congratulations on the new album.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, no, 100%. I've already got some lined up for next year. And yeah, I would have liked to have done some this year as well, but with scheduling and the album's not out till September, it's kind of out just after the festival period. So we're going to focus on lots of festivals next summer.
Brilliant.
And fill it with all the Prides.
I'm going to talk to you in a moment about the new stuff, the new album, the return. You're back. It's the first time in 10 years, isn't it?
10 years, yeah.
Wow, where has that time gone?
I don't actually know. It's crazy. I would never have planned for that to happen, but I've been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and this album took 5 years to write as well. So we just really took our time with it and was very attention to detail, and wanted it to be a complete body of work, and not just drop songs here or there willy-nilly. I wanted it to be like really happy with it before it came out.
Sure.
So here we are.
And we're going to play something from it very soon. Just want to quickly go back in time. It is true that you were kind of talent scouted by Mariah Carey's person, weren't you, back in the day? Is it L.A. Reid?
Oh, right.
So,
yes,
I mean, that's amazing. So, and I've always wanted to ask you, how did that happen?
So, I've got to rewind back in my brain.
Is that 20 years ago?
Yeah, it was
you don't even look 20 years old.
Oh
that?
my
I mean,
God,
goodness me.
Definitely take that. How did that start? So,
was it like a demo that you sent?
So I'm trying to cut a long story short. So I auditioned for the next pop diva in the stage newspaper, right? And I was 14, but you had to be 16 to enter.
Right.
But I just pretended I was 16. I did a Nadine Coyle from Girls Aloud and said I was 16, but I was actually 14. So I auditioned for that. That's how I got my first manager. And then he introduced me to a songwriter called Pete Zizzo in New York. He flew me out there. It was all magical. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Wow. And then Pete Zizzo had worked with Avril Lavigne on her debut album, and she got signed by L.A. Reid. So then and L.A. Reid had just signed Mariah Carey for her Emancipation of Mimi comeback album.
Yeah.
And Mariah Carey was my favourite. So when I'm trying to make this not confusing. So Pete played L.A. Reid the demo, and L.A. loved it, and then flew over to London, and I met him. I took the morning off school and said I had a dentist appointment. And I was 15 at this point. And then I met him, and I was like, oh my gosh. I didn't actually know who he was, but I knew that he'd signed Mariah for the comeback. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And he wanted me to sing the song for him in the hotel, but the CD was a copied disc. You know, back in the day when you copy the CDs and they didn't always work.
Yeah.
Put it in the CD player, it didn't work. So then then I had to sing a song that I knew, and I chose Hero by Mariah Carey, and then the rest is history. Then he signed me from that, really.
That's so amazing. That's so ridiculously showbiz. Age 15, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to me, like, it was obviously a million years ago, but it felt like so exciting, but also kind of normal at the time, because I didn't really know any different. But now looking back at it, that kind of stuff doesn't really happen as much these days, with like signings off of one song and stuff. So I was very lucky, and yeah, it was an amazing time.
You were so good, by the way, with Angela Scanlon earlier.
Thank you.
He's doing a great job here for Chris Evans. You just look like you love performing. You know?
I love it. It's my most
Is that your favourite thing?
Yes, and I love writing. I love being in the studio, and especially making a body of work like this, but the performing just pips it. It's what I've loved since I can remember, and it's just in my bones, and that passion will never die. It hasn't so far. It just kind of gets stronger, and I don't know what I'd do without it. It was actually hard in the lockdowns, because obviously we couldn't, and that's the first time in my life that I had never.
How did you cope?
Well, what I did do actually was I started doing this like shower series, and I was singing my shower into the laptop. And I started a shower series. That's all I could think of. Yeah, and I stayed
you got
clean.
Lockdown, haven't you? You were clean. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
following
clean.
all the health information. Listen, you were on Strictly, weren't you?
Yes,
My goodness.
I was.
So this would have been a decade ago.
I would have been. Because it was 2014. You're right.
Was it 2014?
Yeah.
Wow. How was that time? How was it for you? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
There's all this stuff in the press and stuff, but you, I mean, everyone loved you. You looked like you were. Was it fun?
Oh, I had an amazing time. My partner Trent, he actually only did it for that one season.
Right.
And he was amazing. We're still such good friends to this day, and his wife Gordana. And yeah, they made it for me. I had the best time, and I learnt so much. And again, it's like you get the opportunity to perform every week to so many people live, and I never forget how, obviously, this is live, and I'm used to live situations, but that kind of Strictly live feeling feels so live for some reason.
You got the whole of the nation watching.
Yeah, I think it's like, whoa, every step is like so live. So, for someone who loves to perform, it was a real amazing experience. And I was really nerve-wracking, which I don't usually get with live performance, but I think because it was something new and I had to get the steps right, and I wanted Trent to not let Trent down. So, yeah, it was nerve-wracking, but amazing. I was really lucky to have Trent. He was amazing.
10 years ago. How was that possible? I was young. I had more hair. No. Listen, I want to talk to you about the last decade. So you said to me earlier you spent about 5 years putting this new album together, and tell me about the process.
Yeah, so we it's called Encino because we made it in Jeeves' studio in Encino in California.
Amazing.
So we did the whole thing there.
And that's a famous studio, isn't it? That's kind of well known.
Well, it's more it's famous in our world because we made the whole thing there. And so basically I would go out there, I would mainly stay in Malibu, actually, a little shack on the beach, and then drive into Encino, and we made the whole thing we made the whole thing in Encino. Actually, Encino is quite a well-known music place.
I've heard of it.
As
read
a
about
town.
It as well.
Yeah, and we made the whole thing in there, and it was really freeing because my previous albums I'd worked with millions of different people all over the place. Yeah. Starting out so young and kind of being put in different directions, whereas this was like, okay, this is me. This is like everything that I've been through, and I could write everything honestly because we worked together for 5 years and you build up the relationship, and when you're kind of working with a new person every single day, you can't really go to those deep places because you just meet them, you have a quick coffee and you meet them and you write the song and then you go and you don't see them again. So this was a really amazing way to write an album, and it's like the only way I really want to do it from now on, because I think the best songs are written from truth and real situations. So I loved it.
And there's stuff like, you know, you were saying to Angela earlier, stuff like toxic online subjects and quite personal. Tell me about some of the things you really wanted to kind of write about and sing about here.
Yeah, definitely. That's actually when Angela asked me that just came into my head again. That's when I realised that my sound was turned all the way down, so I couldn't actually hear myself. That's so crazy that I didn't realise that. But anyway, so the online stuff kind of spurred as a subject matter the writing behind Somebody's Daughter, which is the single that's out now, and it's just about like not focusing on the negativity and, you know, focusing on kindness and like positive vibes, because, you know, I would love someone to hear it and then the song and then maybe think about what they're going to say or write or something like that, because not everyone knows what goes on behind closed doors. You don't know the full story, and, you know, people are quick to judge, but you can read one thing and it can just like change your whole day or week or year or life. Of course. It's quite important.
And that's all changed within the time that you hit the big time. In the last 20 years, the landscape has changed completely. Hasn't it?
Massively.
With social media, with phones, with timelines, with the news agenda. It's just constant, isn't it? Yeah,
I'm still trying to kind of get my head around how much it's changed, to be honest with you, but it's changed massively. And you do have to go with the times. But at the same time, I think there's definitely in the social media world pros and cons to it. Yeah. So as long as you know, try and focus on the positive and the good news stuff, and take everything with a pinch of salt, even the kind of like, you know, everyone just sharing their highlights and, you know, comparing yourself. Everyone only puts up, you know, picture perfect, face tuned, good stuff. Yeah. So, you know, take it all with a pinch of salt, 100% on that aspect of things.
It's so good to meet you again, to see you again. You look like you're really fired up. It's great to have you back.
Thank you.
New album is out the end of September, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, very excited.
And we'll play the new song right now. Can you introduce your new song, please?
Yeah, so this is my brand new single. It's out now and it's called Somebody's Daughter.
Pixie Lott, we love you, and we'll see you at a Pride next year.
Yes.
Let's stick the date in the diary now, okay?
Yes, 100%. Thank you so much. See you soon.
Virgin Radio.